Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's live oracle reading for our new moon in Taurus, April 24th, 2020. So my name's Carmen, this is my page, my channel, Carmen Edwards, Live the Magic Life. So tonight, this is an intuitive reading, a general reading, just tuning into the themes that are present at the moment surrounding this new moon. So this is for the next couple of weeks before we head into the full moon in a couple of weeks time, and I'm working with two decks this evening. So this is the Moonology Oracle deck by Yasmin Boland, and then we also have the Lunar Nomad Oracle as well. So these are two decks that I like to work with at the moment for these readings. And if you're here with me live and you want to just check in and say hi, thank you so much for joining me. These are my gifts to you. I've definitely been called lately to start sharing these messages. So I just channel intuitively, see what the cards wish to show, but obviously take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and listen to your own intuition throughout of how these messages relate to your life, your circumstances, personally as well. So I've already given the cards a good shuffle before we began. I'll just start by drawing a few from the Moonology deck as well. So just asking what wants to be shown to us for the next couple of weeks. What are the themes of this Taurian energy? What wants to be revealed to us? What's coming through at this time? And just seeing what wants to arise for us this evening. So this is so such a powerful energy already. Lots of active fire energy going on. Although this is a feminine earthy moon, there's definitely that heat of summer coming through for us as well. So lots of passion as well. Hello Jenna, I've just seen you give me a little like, hello, send you lots of love. Okay, so first card, the new moon in Leo, confidence is the way to your success. So actually this is a very much tuning into that solar. The Leo is quite a solar sign. It's a very active, very strong and powerful. And what's been showing up, what's been coming through is about the power that lies in our sovereignty and also within our solar plexus and our relationship to power, where we sometimes give our power away too easily, or where there's an imbalance of power in our lives as well. Where do we need to nurture and honour ourselves? Because some of the themes around the Taurian new moon are about, particularly around like body and how we relate to our physical body, how we relate to the earth, how we relate to self and other. And this very much feels tuned into that energy of that fire that sometimes arises in us, of this passion for I want to make a change, and how can I embody that change, and believing in yourself, believing in your ability to make positive changes and positive shifts. Because we have this new energy. If we look around at nature all around us, it's blossoming, it's growing, it's blooming. And this very much highlights that inside us we also have that willpower, our personal power center, where we can enact and make changes from. But we need to honour, starting with our inner world, how do we believe in ourselves? How do we treat ourselves? Because this is the fundamental relationship. When we start to think of ourselves as part of the collective as well, of how we relate to the world around us. And often our relationship that we have with ourselves is mirrored in the relationship with the earth. And for those of you who've just joined me for the new moon ceremony tonight, that's very much that Taurian energy that's coming through, is about how are we relating to ourselves as part of something bigger, this bigger collective energy. How do we want to show up? How do we want to embody and be the change that we want to see in the world? And believe in yourself, because you've got that power, that lion heart as well, the strength that comes from being in touch with our hearts, in touch with our feminine essence as well, that essence of receptivity, of openness, of opening the mind space, welcoming new beginnings, new potentials. Confidence, the key to your success. I love it. That lion, that roar, that inner roar that seems to be happening around the world at the moment with this new energy coming through. So let's see the second card. Full moon in Aquarius, show the world the real you. So this is talking about like where we sometimes hide away from the truth of ourselves as well, where we may not be fully honouring our power, our strength, where we may be hiding, where we may be playing small in order to kind of keep the peace. This is about honouring our feelings. Aquarius is very deeply feeling space. And the full moon particularly relates to our emotional, our heart space. And are we tuning and listening to what we need? Are we really allowing ourselves to fully honour and nourish and nurture our inner world as well, our inner desires? What is it that's showing up for us? What is it that we're feeling? And how do we hold that? How do we hold that energy in balance? Particularly when it comes to our relationships to ourselves and the outside world, how do we balance that with what we need for ourselves? And also there's lots of water in this card. So there is definitely that fire water kind of interplay, which to me always symbolises this solar and lunar energy kind of interplay, which is very much what's going on. You know, there's all this new life emerging around in the kind of solar world and the conscious world. We may have new desires, new intentions, but what are we feeling? How do we step into that? How is our body feeling, our sensory world, our inner landscape? How do we show up for ourselves in new ways? How do we show up for our feeling space? How do we express our truth, our inner truth? And where have we kind of shut ourselves down as well? So I think these themes are definitely being highlighted at this time. So that's the full moon in Aquarius. And then we have the third card. Let's see what this one says. Full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. So the full moon in Cancer card, again, is very similar. It's got lots of that emotional energy, and what it feels like is that there's something building at the moment towards a full moon, which is a very much a heart space, a very passionate, a very emotional situation in your life, in your world, but it's coming to a positive resolution. Sometimes we need to get in touch with those deeper parts of ourselves to really own what is it that I'm desiring, and how might I build that with my belief, how might I step out into that going forward, how might I actually listen and then start to embody some of this energy? How do I nurture my emotions and trust that this is all leading me towards a positive resolution or a positive ending to a situation? How can I work with that starting from within? Because it definitely feels like there's a lot of emotions shifting at the moment. I've had a lot of kind of anger starting to arise. It feels like this relationship with the earth is really calling for our attention right now. It's calling for our nurturance, and also from those places in our past where we may have been kind of shut down or held down, you know, and particularly the patriarchal wound that we all hold, where we've kind of kept ourselves small or been forced into boxes, where actually we're wanting to expand beyond those right now. And this is that fire that's starting to arise. We want to come through to the other side and show a new aspect of self that's birthing within us right now, that's birthing within the world. We have a new world emerging through the current situation. It couldn't continue the way that it was, but we're being shifted and being moulded, and sometimes this is quite painful and disruptive to us, and we need to really hold and nurture those parts of us that are struggling, but trusting that all this is weaving towards something bigger, towards something better for us. But we have to really believe in ourselves. and really step into embodying, okay, what are the practical action steps? What are the things that I can do in my power? How might I own my power to make a positive difference in this situation? Oh, yes, lots of that new moon fire coming through. I'm very grounded, very much in the here and now. So not going too much into the mind space, trying to figure things out. This definitely feels like a call back into the body, back into the heart. What is it that I need? Not necessarily what do I want right now, but what do I need? What am I deeply calling for? What am I deeply desiring? And how is this showing up for me? Because sometimes our feelings can be the biggest clues towards what we're actually needing, what we're actually speaking to ourselves, if we just take a moment to really stop and listen. So lovely to have you guys here with me live for this. Okay, that card didn't want to come. So I'm just drawing some from the Lunar Nomad deck just to build on this energy now. Because there's a few that feel to come. I'm actually going to draw 4 today. Okay. From this deck. And just seeing what wants to arise for us. The mice. So the mice in the Lunar Nomad card refer to the brain, that mind space again. So the mind space, this is about like how unconscious kind of beliefs or old patterns or old ways of thinking about ourselves or the world can sometimes get in and kind of disrupt particularly our confidence. These are kind of like self-sabotaging patterns or old ways of relating to ourselves that no longer serve us, that if left unchecked can wreak damage, can wreak havoc on our inner world, that can make us feel unshaky, unstable. So this is really like calling us, when the mice show up, back into what is it that I need in order to feel stable, secure, to feel grounded and rooted in this space. And it might be that you need to find a way of connecting to the outside world, be it through social media. It may be a time of actually, no, I need to go within and I need to be with myself and sit with what I'm feeling, but trusting in what is showing up for you and not listening too much to some of that mind chatter that can arise when we're often in new situations or situations of change. What often happens is this triggers our natural fear responses, and this can bring up our stuff, right? So this can bring up our emotional stuff, but also our mind spiraling. So really just paying attention to some of the stories that our mind tells us, and just kind of checking in with ourselves that we're not spiraling, that we're getting the support that we need, that we're nurturing ourselves again from the inside out, really listening to what is going on. Do I need to take a break? Do I need to take a breath? Do I need to stop and tune in and just be with the body, trying to not go so much into the mind space and figure everything out, but just be with myself and what I'm feeling at this time. Okay, so the ring shows up. So this is about a new beginning. The ring symbolizes like that union energy, and that feels like at the moment we're coming into balance of our inner world and our conscious world. So this is like the shadow and the light. So sometimes our stuff can come up, but how do we hold that? How do we nurture that with both parts of ourselves? How do we nurture our humanness, our needs, with our wants and desires, with the places that we're wanting to move into? It's about that balance between the comfort zone, where we feel comfortable in, and where we're willing to step out of that in order to make changes, to make shifts, to break habits and patterns, but also honouring our boundaries. And the ring also symbolises that commitment to self. So this is again another theme that's been coming through, was around self-love and committing to ourselves first, committing to be with ourselves, committing to loving ourselves, to nurturing ourselves. What do we need to take care of ourselves in even greater ways? and how can we commit to doing the things or being the things that we're wanting to do in order to give ourselves that stability, that support, that groundedness? Do we need to be more grounded? Do we need to feel more connected? Do we need to spend more time with ourselves? Do we need to work on our relationship with our bodies, with nature, with the physical world, our finances? These kind of themes are being highlighted at this time. And the area of commitment, of really honouring all parts of ourselves that are involved in making those decisions. And the commitment starts from within. It starts with us. What am I willing to commit to? What am I willing to build on and bring into the future? The snake shows up. The snake showed up for us last time as well at the full moon. And the snake represents that Kundalini energy. So this is very much those kind of that root chakra, that life force, that primal, very powerful energy, which has both light and shadow aspects. So sometimes this can be about our fears being shown to us, things we don't want to see, we don't want to look at, our stuff that comes up that can feel very uncomfortable, and that's not always the easiest to sit with and to be with. But on the other side of this is this new potential, this new life that wants to come through us. And also, what are our fears, or what are our deeper emotions? What is the stuff that's coming up revealing to us about our needs and our desires, about our boundaries, about where we perhaps are playing small, or the places where we're still holding on to things that we need to release, that we need to let go of, that we need to work on within ourselves. There is power, there is so much of this serpentine life energy, which is all across the earth at the moment. We have this renewal, this fertility, the birds and the bees are out everywhere, all this heat. And all this heat can also, if we think about a fire, like all this heat can sometimes kind of explode. So this is about managing our energy as well. And again, honouring our boundaries around where we're willing to go and explore at the moment, and what we need in order to feel safe, to feel supported. And one way that we can do that is by grounding and releasing excess energy, being here in the physical body, not releasing ourselves too much into the mind space, but being here in the present moment with what is present for us, rather than looking too far ahead into the future. But what can I do in this moment? Where's my power in this moment? Or what is being shown to me? And how can I hold myself in this moment as well? And then we also have the man. So we have this masculine energy balance coming in as well. So the masculine energy is very much that solar consciousness. So this is about our will and how we take action in the world. So we have this energy supporting us with the Taurian moon, which is actually the feminine, quite receptive, is this opening of this space where we can start to really feel into from within where we're wanting to go in the future and how do we take this forward. And the masculine really supports us, the masculine within us can really support us to work with this energy in proactive ways. So how might we take small action steps? What is it that we need in the material world, in the physical world, that we can start to build on, we can start to work with at the moment? What are our needs in the here and now? So what are the physical needs of the body? What are the physical needs of our home life, of our resources? And how might we make a little bit of a plan of action, or use some of that masculine energy out, our intention, our conscious intention of leading us towards where we want to go. It's about taking our power back. This reading really feels like a reclamation of power, and also rebalancing of power, and coming from that heart space rather than trusting in the mind to find kind of fixed ways of being. We're opening up to new possibilities, but also realizing our responsibility as a co-creator of our worlds to really work with what's being shown to us, and what's coming to us at this time, to try and see, well, what changes, what based on my needs is being shown to me, and how might I step out and make some changes, positive changes, not only for myself but for the world around me, particularly in terms of our physical environment and our beautiful planet that we live on as well. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. That's going to conclude tonight's reading. So for those of you who don't know, I'm also running my 13 moon archetypal journey through the zodiac course, which begins tomorrow. So this is really going deeper into each moon cycle and working with the archetypal energy of that particular moon, to really journey with how that's showing up for ourselves in our own psyches, in our own lives. And there's lots of different stuff we'll be exploring in that. So if you do want to go a little bit deeper into this and build your own personal relationship with the lunar cycle, I'll post a link below and you can check that out. That launches tomorrow at 11:11, and that's going to run each month throughout the year with a different archetypal energy we'll be working with each month as well, with full support from me and lots of different tools in there as well. So I will see you again in a couple of weeks' time for the next reading, which will be around the full moon. And you can also follow me here on the Live the Magic page or through my Instagram as well. Always feel free to reach out, let me know anything you want to see in these readings, what you've enjoyed. If you want to see me use different cards or do different combinations, let me know what you're feeling, guys. It's so lovely to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching and for receiving what needs to come through for you tonight. It's my pleasure to come online and serve in this way. So sending you lots and lots of love until next time.